Look like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her infamous 22 number to a new one. Guys, for this,
Team USA just dropped its training camp roster, complete with player numbers, and fans instantly caught something that sent the basketball world into a frenzy. Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in women's basketball, won't be wearing her iconic number 22. Yes, that number, the one tied to her entire career, the one fans buy on jerseys, the one that helped turn her into a $1 million superstar. Now it's gone, taken away. And the reason behind it? That's where this story takes a shocking turn. Let's break down the actual roster numbers Team USA released. Kelsey Plum was given number 5. Jackie Young kept number 13. De'Erica Hamby landed number 15. Chelsea Gray stayed with number 8. Kalia Copper held on to number 7. And here's where things get interesting. Every player who was part of the most recent Olympic roster got to keep their number. Anyone already established in the Team USA system kept their jersey exactly as is. But every new addition to this roster, they were assigned seemingly random numbers, all above 15. Now, before we get into why this is happening, let's be clear about what fans are actually upset about. This isn't just about a number. This is about respect. Caitlin Clark's number 22 isn't just a jersey, it's iconic. In women's basketball, it carries the same weight as Michael Jordan's 23 or Kobe Bryant's 24. You see a women's jersey with 22 on the back, and you immediately think of Caitlin Clark. That number is her brand. It's her identity. It's what millions of fans associate with her dominance in college and now the WNBA. And that's why this decision hit such a nerve.
because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA. And not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now, this article has come out.
Before we break down why Team USA made this decision and whether fans are right to be this angry, drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Should Caitlin be allowed to wear whatever number she wants, or should she follow Team USA's traditions? Because this controversy exposes something very interesting about how the program actually operates. Now here's where things really blew up. Team USA Basketball just released its training camp roster, complete with assigned player numbers. Within minutes of it going public, fans completely lost their minds. Why? Because there, clear as day on the roster sheet, was Caitlin Clark listed as number 17, not number 22. 17. A number that means absolutely nothing to her career, her brand, or her identity as a player. Not the number fans recognize. Not the number on the jerseys. Not the number that helped turn her into a global superstar. So naturally, people started asking the same question everywhere online. What the hell is going on here?
BA. We haven't even made it to training camp yet. We have not even made it to the December 12th Women's USA Basketball training camp yet, and they are already disrespecting Caitlin Clark.
So when Team USA casually assigns Caitlin Clark number 17, like she's just another player trying out, it feels disrespectful. It feels either clueless about her impact on the sport, or worse, deliberately dismissive. And that's exactly why fans are furious. To many, this looks like yet another example of Team USA undervaluing Caitlin Clark, especially after leaving her off the Olympic roster earlier this year. But here's where the story gets more complicated, and honestly, a little less outrageous than it first appears. Team USA Basketball has a long-standing tradition of using only jersey numbers 4 through 15. This isn't a new rule created to single out Caitlin. They've been doing this for decades, based on old international regulations that once required teams to stick to that range. Those rules were dropped back in 2014, allowing numbers 0 through 99, just like the NBA and WNBA. Still, Team USA chose to keep the tradition. They say it's about continuity, about honoring history, and on paper, that sounds respectable. But in practice, it creates moments exactly like this, where the biggest star in the sport can't wear the number that defines her. And let's be clear, this isn't just a Caitlin Clark issue. Aya Wilson wears 22 for the Aces. Cameron Brink wears 22 too. 3 high-profile players. Same number. Team USA's solution? Don't give anyone 22. Leave it unused. Assign random numbers instead. They've done this before. On the men's side, LeBron James wore number 6, not 23. Kevin Durant wore 7. Everyone stayed within that 4 to 15 range. So no, this isn't a targeted attack on Caitlin or women's basketball. This is how Team USA operates across the board. But here's where the nuance comes in, and why fans are still justified in being upset. Traditions can be changed when they stop making sense. Forcing the most marketable player in women's basketball to abandon her iconic number, just to protect a rule the sport no longer requires, feels like prioritizing bureaucracy over common sense. And remember, this roster is for training camp, not official competition. These are essentially practice jerseys, which makes the choice to assign numbers at all, and to specifically give Caitlin 17, say a lot about how the program views player identity and branding. Looking back makes things even more interesting. At the youth level, Caitlin wore number 6 for USA Basketball. Paige Buchers wore number 5. Now, Paige is wearing 19, Caitlin 17. Random numbers with no connection to their history or professional careers. That's led to another theory circulating online, pecking order. Some believe numbers 4 to 15 went to players considered locks, while numbers above that range were given to players still fighting for spots. If that's true, it suggests Team USA sees Caitlin as someone who still needs to prove herself, rather than the established star she clearly is. And that interpretation would be far more disrespectful than the number change alone. Realistically, Caitlin probably won't wear 17 once the final roster is set. She'll land somewhere between 4 and 15. But which number? Most of the meaningful ones are already taken by players with seniority. Sabrina Ionescu wore 6 in the last Olympics, so that's likely off the table. Caitlin will probably end up with a number that means nothing to her or her fans. Compare that to the men's team. When LeBron couldn't wear 23, people understood. He was joining a system with traditions. But he was also treated like a cornerstone, respected, embraced, elevated in every other way. That's the real question here. Is Caitlin Clark being given that same respect? Based on the Olympic snub, the number situation, and the overall tone around how Team USA talks about her, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like she's being treated like just another player trying to make the roster, even though she's objectively the biggest draw in women's basketball today. Some argue that this is about fairness. No favorites. Everyone earns their spot. And in theory, that sounds great. But in reality, Team USA absolutely operates with a hierarchy. Veterans get preference. International experience matters. So pretending otherwise, just to justify this decision, feels disingenuous. There was a better way to handle this. Team USA could have had a respectful conversation with Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, and Cameron Brink, and worked out who had the strongest claim to number 22. Caitlin made it iconic. Aya has Olympic pedigree. Cameron is a rising star. A solution existed. Instead, Team USA chose the easiest option. Nobody gets it. And that's why this situation feels wrong. Not because of one number, but because it treats elite athletes with massive identities and fan bases like interchangeable parts in a system. And that's the real controversy fans can't ignore. What makes this even more frustrating is the timing. Caitlin Clark just came off a season filled with non-stop criticism, on-court struggles, and the crushing pressure of living up to impossible expectations. The last thing she needs right now is another distraction, or another reminder that Team USA may not fully value what she brings to the program. She should be walking into training camp able to lock in, where her number, focus on basketball, and prove she belongs. Instead, she's stepping into a situation where even her jersey number becomes a headline. And the argument that this is just training camp and the numbers don't matter, that falls apart the moment you remember one key detail. Team USA made these numbers public. They released them knowing fans would see them, react to them, and debate them. That alone tells you the numbers do matter on some level. Whether they admit it or not, this sends a message about how players are viewed within the program's hierarchy. Some fans have suggested that Kelsey Plum should give up number 5 so Caitlin could wear it, since it's at least closer to 22 than 17 is. But that creates a whole new problem. Why should Plum give up her number? She's an Olympic player. She's earned her place. Forcing that kind of concession would only breed resentment and hurt team chemistry. That's not a real solution. The real issue is deeper than any single number. Team USA is clinging to a tradition that now creates more problems than it solves. The 4 to 15 restriction made sense when international rules required it. But those rules no longer exist. Continuing to enforce them serves no practical purpose. It's tradition for tradition's sake. And in today's era of social media, branding, and fan engagement, that rigidity comes at a cost. Caitlin Clark's brand is inseparable from number 22. Her merchandise, her highlights, her identity. Fans recognize her instantly because of that number. When she wears something completely different for Team USA, it creates a disconnect between her national team identity and her professional one. That may not matter to administrators, but it matters enormously for marketing, fan connection, and the growth of the women's game. Women's basketball is experiencing unprecedented momentum right now, largely because of Caitlin Clark's crossover appeal. People who never watched the sport before are tuning in specifically for her. Those fans associate her with 22. When Team USA ignores that reality, they're missing a massive opportunity to grow the program and capitalize on the moment. And that's why this situation is so frustrating. It didn't have to happen. Team USA could have made an exception. They could have had conversations with the players involved. They could have shown flexibility instead of rigid rule following. Instead, they did what bureaucracies often do, applied the rules without considering context. And now they're facing backlash from fans who feel like the face of women's basketball is being treated like just another interchangeable piece. So here we are. Caitlin Clark can't wear number 22 for Team USA because of a tradition that doesn't even need to exist anymore. Fair or disrespectful? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more coverage on Team USA drama and women's basketball controversies, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in. We're just getting started.